Purple Basket as a name to me is really just like a gathering. Community service is community care, and community care is self-care for me as well. Yeah, so my name is Nayethzi Hernandez, and I use the she series pronouns, and I am an AmeriCorps VISTA leader working on the Utah Food Corps initiatives. So I chose to become an AmeriCorps VISTA because I was evacuated from my Peace Corps placement. So that happened in 2020 with all of the COVID stuff. And I had told myself that I would commit my life to 2 full years of service. And I only got to make my way through 1. So I told myself that I needed to find something to contribute to my community. And this kind of fell in line with what I wanted to do, and a little bit of what I had familiarity with. And I think that is truly like something that I like to carry with me in life, is that if I have the time and energy to lend a hand to someone else, then that's something I'm going to do. I was able to volunteer with the Utah Food Pantry at the University of Utah when I was a student there, and I saw how big of an impact it made. And then that impact was only further amplified by COVID, and I knew it was a pressing matter and something that I had the time to dedicate to and enough familiarity with to feel comfortable starting something new. So I have a value acronym that I lead most of my life through. It's HECK, holistic, environmental, and ethical, community-based, and kind. So community service to me really does center around community and knowing my community, feeling connected with my community, and contributing as much as I can from my person into the community, because I think that's the only way we shape community, right? So communities of care are communities for ourselves as well. So as much as it sounds like very altruistic, right? I benefit when my community thrives. And if I ever needed help, then I want there to be a community that can rally and support me as well. That's what's at the heart of the community, is understanding one another and understanding potential avenues of help. So I think a lot of times when we think community in Westminster, we think students, right? And just students. But I get to build community with my coworkers, and a lot of our community is built around making sure that students are okay. That in turn means that I get to build relationships with students, and there's a lot of students on campus that I hold a deep care for. And so community service means like getting to show that care that I get to see reflected in so many of my coworkers as well, and direct that to students. I think Purple Basket as a name to me is really just like a gathering, right? Like it's a place where like needs are gathered, and ideally in the future I'd like it to be a place where students can gather too, around their needs, right? A lot of the time students will minimize their needs just to like very bare bones and forget that it's okay to have some wants too. The way that we get to meet these desires is by simply providing the space for them to be there and trying to make it as destigmatized as possible, because that's when we get to the point where people can request what they want, when they're comfortable enough and feel respected enough to ask, and like empowered enough to ask for what they want. And that's absolutely something that I want from our space, that students feel comfortable telling me, I want this. And thankfully students are getting to the point where that is a norm of, hey, I would like yogurt, I would like this kind of milk. Because people deserve to be cared for in the form that they want to be cared for. I think a lot of people would say that I am like misusing my potential, or that like I'm wasting my earning potential years because I'm 24 and this is the time where I could be making money. But I think this has really has given me a lot of opportunities to explore my project development, and like the initiatives that I get to do. I feel really empowered in the work that I do. Like there are moments where I feel very emotionally drained, and where I feel like I'm not doing enough to take care of other folks. But as I mentioned before, like this is community action, right? And I get to see that and lean on like my student employees. I have 4 wonderful students who do incredible work to try to support their fellow student body. So when there are drawbacks, it feels like I feel them fairly deeply. But a lot of the times, and I'm not trying to spin this positively because not everything is supposed to be positive in life, but I find a lot of personal benefit to my growth when I look at those drawbacks, right? Like this is an opportunity, like I got to start something from the ground up, and that's something that I take a lot of pride in, and that I'm really happy that I got the opportunity to do.